Hi, this video is about mobile-friendly web design. I get a lot of questions about this, and I want to try to address some of those in this video as far as some of your options and some of the complications and issues, the wide variety of issues that people might have. And it's not as simple as, oh, okay, one package for mobile-friendly design is the same for everybody. No, it really depends on a lot of different things on what you need and stuff like that. So this is actually a month after officially MobileGeddon. Well, some people saw nothing, and some people, a small amount of people, I think, saw some big rankings drop who have very non-mobile friendly sites. So, first of all, how do you check to see if your mobile site is friendly? So, actually, if you just type in Google mobile friendly test into Google, it should take you here. And I just checked a random site. This one is mobile friendly, but if it's not, it'll actually give you some suggestions. I think it's an imperfect tool that kind of misses some things. Frankly, I think they put it together pretty quickly, and sometimes it says something and it doesn't make sense. It does show some examples of what your site would look like on a mobile phone. You would like to check them off, but sometimes I've seen some sites where it says it's not this, and I go to the site and it's set up that way. So you know, take this with a grain of salt and try to check off as many as you can. But just because you have them all checked off does not mean that you're going to be treated as mobile friendly, even if it says it here. And if you don't have them, and if you have one or two of them not checked, that also doesn't mean that you are not mobile friendly. So you could still be counted as somewhat mobile friendly. It depends on, I mean, I'm sure that there's different degrees of how much they will penalize you for not being officially mobile friendly. Honestly, I don't know exactly how it works, but this is just a good place to start to get some good ideas. Also to see, you know, if you're missing a bunch of stuff, then that could be bad for you, especially if a lot of your traffic is, or a lot of your market uses mobile devices. So, for example, let's say a locksmith. That's definitely something that needs to be mobile friendly. I imagine a very large percentage of their traffic is mobile. I mean, you're locked out of your house, you're locked out of your car. You're not going to use a computer. All you got your smartphone in your pocket and your keys in your car. What are you going to do? You're search on your phone. So I imagine that's a very high percentage. As opposed to like maybe business to business consulting or something like that. I think that's more likely to be on a desktop. And if you, hopefully you're tracking your current traffic, and you can tell, hey, your analytics or whatever traffic tracking software you're using will tell you what percentage of your visitors are using mobile devices. And is your traffic highly mobile? Now, unfortunately, there's a broad definition for mobile. Someone who's got a 10-inch tablet with officially a mobile operating system is counted as mobile, but that's not really. I don't think that's completely accurate, despite the fact that it's categorized that way. There's such a wide variety of devices and screen sizes that it's kind of hard to get this perfect on every. It's pretty much impossible to get it perfect on everything. You know, another thing you might want to look at, have you seen a big decrease recently, especially towards the beginning of May or at the end of April? You know, it doesn't necessarily hit everybody all at once. And if you have, and your site is marked as not mobile friendly, this is something that you want to look into. Now, what can you do about it? If you want to make a site mobile friendly, what is it that you need to do? So I'd say that there's kind of three main options. I guess there's one fourth option, which is do nothing. But if you've lost rankings and it points to MobileGeddon hurting your site, then doing nothing is a choice that you can make, but obviously I don't recommend it. And here's the thing, though. These choices can vary dramatically in price depending on exactly where you're at right now and where you need to go. So let's say you've already got WordPress and you don't want to spend too much money, but you want to try to check off some of those mobile friendly things that Google suggests. You know, you can just tweak your desktop site, making the text bigger, increasing the space between links and stuff like that to make it so that it's easier to use on a mobile phone, and then you can just kind of check it on your own phone and check it within the Google tool and see what you can do. Now, this is going to be probably your least expensive option, unless you're wanting to get like a full redesign. Then it could still be relatively expensive. This one, if you can just do this yourself, obviously that's free, so that could be inexpensive. But it can also, you know, if you're having someone else do that, it can cost you $1,000 or $2,000 or more. Having a separate mobile site that redirects, this is actually very inexpensive. So there's an inexpensive service like Mobile. If you go to their, it's DUDAMOBIL. So they've got a $5 plan, but it looks like there's ads. So for the no ads, $14 a month. That's pretty inexpensive. Now there's some serious downsides to having a separate mobile site. So essentially what this does is, if you've seen other sites where you search on your mobile site and it redirects you to like m.domain.com, and it looks completely different than if you were on a desktop. Personally, I don't really like this. I think it is a little bit bad for SEO, and Google prefers mobile responsive, because that way it's just one website and they don't have to index multiple websites and decide between the two and stuff like that. I just don't really like it a whole lot, but it's definitely something that could be a quick option for you. You can just go in, especially if you have WordPress, this would be very easy. You sign up, you install a plugin on your WordPress site. It could take you 5 or 30 minutes to do the whole process, and then now you've got a separate mobile site. Now, obviously, there's going to be additional steps that you might want to do to make it look better and to improve it, but that's just an option if you're in a hurry and you really don't want to spend too much money. So you can also do a mobile responsive design. Now, this can be very expensive. Hiring a mobile designer is extremely expensive, especially right around this time, even not around this time. There's not a lot of people who specialize in this. It's extremely difficult, and while here it shows kind of what a mobile responsive site does. Here, my site's set up to be mobile responsive. If it manages the width. You see how the sidebar went away? See right there? It's actually, if I go to the bottom of the page, it's dropped to the bottom of the page. And as you get smaller, it does more and more things. So it's looking for the width of the screen, and it's trying to fit it into that. So I might need to make my text a little bigger, but it's not necessarily exactly how it will show up on your phone. But basically, it's supposed to kind of change the layout of the site depending on the screen size. Now, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of different screen sizes, so it's impossible to get it right on everything. I usually try to pick like the top ones, like maybe the most popular couple of Android and iPhones, and try to make it work on that as best you can, and then live with maybe it doesn't look great on a tablet, but it looks good on the phone and the desktop, and that's a lot of times that's good enough. Getting it perfect on everything, it's a little bit of a balancing act. It's a lot of a balancing act, and so you change it, you make it better for the tablet, it hurts it for maybe the phone or the desktop. So you're playing a little bit of whack-a-mole with that. Now I do have there are some WordPress themes that are automatically responsive, set up to be responsive. The one that I use, I just have to check a box and it sets it up as responsive. Now, in those cases, it can be less expensive, but at the same time, it's not as good as getting like a custom mobile responsive theme. But if you're going to try to build a custom mobile responsive theme on your site, that is going to be very expensive. And even if you have a pretty simple site, and the bigger your site is, the more layouts it has, the more expensive it is going to be. Now, I do not like for people to spend too much money on web design, because generally speaking, web design does not really provide you with quite the return as SEO, because making a really pretty and awesome website doesn't do you a hill of beans good if no one's seeing it. If you've got the best billboard in the world and it's out in the middle of the desert, not even near a road, what good does it do you? But at the same time, you want to make sure that Google has checked you off as mobile friendly, especially if you've lost rankings, and you want your site to look modern. You don't want someone to, especially if your market is heavily mobile, they use mobile a lot, and your site looks really bad on a mobile device, then it's gonna cause conversion issues. So it doesn't mean I don't want people spending any money on it. I just try to keep it as minimum as possible so that you can move forward with the things that really provide the return, i.e. Search engine optimization. So feel free to ask me any questions about this, and if you really feel like if your rankings were hurt by mobile getting, then give me a call and we'll talk about what your options are as far as getting that fixed. I appreciate you watching. Have a great day. Bye.